you are wasting your time. Every word you spill trying to justify yourself is like throwing gasoline on a fire that doesn't even care about your excuses. People don't need your explanations. They only notice your results, your actions, your strength. Stop apologizing for being you. Stop defending your choices. Stop begging for approval from people who don't respect it anyway. Today, I'm going to show you why explanations are chains and why breaking free from them is the only way to command respect. Every time you feel the need to explain yourself, pause and look at what you are really doing. Think about the last time you justified your choices to someone who didn't even matter, or defended your actions to someone who wasn't walking in your shoes. You spent energy, words, and emotion trying to prove something to people who will never fully understand your path. Imagine a person at work, constantly explaining why they made a decision, why they missed a deadline, why they chose a certain approach, while someone else, silent but focused, completes the project, wins respect, and moves forward. Imagine a young adult in a relationship trying to explain every small choice, every small feeling, and yet the other person only notices the doubt in their words, not the intention in their heart. Each explanation is like a chain around your neck, tightening with every word, feeding the illusion that you need approval to exist, that your value is dependent on someone else's understanding. The moment you stop explaining, you reclaim your energy, your authority, your freedom. You start speaking with action instead of words, showing your strength through what you do, not what you justify. People begin to respect you not because you told them to, but because they see your conviction, your consistency, and your unwavering focus. And nothing you say could compete with that presence. Every time you find yourself explaining, think of it like an anime character standing in a battle. The moment they start talking, justifying their moves, or explaining their strategy, they lose focus. The enemy doesn't wait for your words. They act, they strike. And every second you waste defending yourself is a second you give them advantage. Imagine a hero on screen, silent, unshaken, letting their actions speak, their power radiate, their presence dominate the battlefield. Their enemies are intimidated not by what they say, but by what they do, by the precision, speed, and clarity in their movements. In daily life, this is exactly what happens. People notice confidence, results, and decisiveness, not explanations. A student who quietly studies, while others complain about exams, becomes unstoppable. A young professional who executes their projects flawlessly without endless justification earns respect naturally. Explanations are weakness in disguise because they reveal doubt, hesitation, and dependence on approval. The moment you stop over explaining, you become like the anime protagonist who stands tall, letting every action define them, letting every step speak louder than words, and letting the world recognize that your strength doesn't need justification. It exists on its own. Every time you find yourself explaining why you did something, think about what really matters: results, not reasons. Imagine a young artist spending hours defending their choices, explaining why this color, why this brushstroke, why this style, while another artist simply paints, creates, and lets the work speak for itself. The first one burns energy in words that fade. The second one builds a presence that lasts. Think about a small business owner constantly justifying delays, pricing, or decisions to customers who never cared as much as they claim. They waste hours in conversation. But the one who focuses on delivering quality, improving their product, and serving their clients consistently earns trust and respect without saying a single word. In life, the world doesn't reward explanations, it rewards outcomes. When you focus on results, your actions become undeniable proof of your abilities. Your work, your discipline, your perseverance speak in volumes that no explanation ever could. Even in relationships, people notice consistency, care, and effort far more than excuses or justifications. Every time you chase reasons, you slow down your impact. Every time you focus on results, you accelerate your influence, your confidence, your reputation, until people can't ignore your presence, and your achievements become your voice, louder than any words you could give. Every time you feel the urge to defend yourself, pause and realize the power of silence. Imagine a meeting where someone challenges your idea, demanding explanations, pushing for reasons, while you simply sit, listen, and observe. Your silence makes them uncomfortable because it shows confidence, control, and clarity that words often cannot convey. Think about a student in class, faced with criticism, who doesn't argue or explain every point, but focuses on their work, their grades, their growth. Teachers and peers begin to notice their dedication without a single word. In daily life, silence is like a shield and a sword at the same time. It protects your energy from unnecessary battles and strikes indirectly, commanding respect and attention. A manager who remains calm under pressure, refusing to justify every decision, earns more authority than one who constantly explains. a friend who listens without over explaining their actions gains more trust than one who defends every choice. Silence amplifies presence because it signals mastery over your emotions and your narrative. It tells the world that you don't need permission, approval, or understanding to be who you are, and that your actions, consistency, and conviction will always speak louder than any explanation. You could offer to the noise around you, stop seeking validation, because the moment you constantly look for approval, you give others control over your happiness and your choices. Imagine a young professional who waits for every nod, every compliment, every recognition before feeling proud of their work. They spend more energy worrying about what others think than actually achieving anything. Think about a teenager posting on social media, crafting every post and caption to get likes and comments, tying their self-worth to numbers on a screen, forgetting that their value was never in the opinions of strangers, but in their own effort and character. In daily life, people who seek validation waste their time explaining themselves, apologizing for their decisions, and shrinking to fit someone else's expectations. The person who stops seeking approval starts moving freely, making bold choices, and acting with confidence because they are accountable only to themselves. A student who studies for knowledge, not for grades, discovers a deeper understanding and a quiet strength. An entrepreneur who follows their vision without waiting for encouragement shapes their path and builds a legacy. The more you rely on validation, the weaker you become. But the moment you release it, you gain clarity, independence, and unstoppable momentum as your focus shifts from pleasing others to mastering yourself and creating results that speak louder than any words could ever convey. And now, after everything, listen carefully, because this is the moment where your mindset can change forever. Stop giving explanations. Stop defending your choices. Stop begging for validation, because you already have everything you need inside you. Every second you spend justifying yourself is a second stolen from your own potential. Every word you pour into someone else's understanding is energy taken away from your own growth. Imagine the lives of the people you admire, the ones who achieved greatness. Do you think they spent their time explaining themselves to critics or doubters? No, they acted, they persisted, they made mistakes, they learned, they built, and they let the world see their results. Think about a successful entrepreneur, a masterful athlete, a relentless creator. None of them waited for permission or approval. They moved in silence They let their actions speak louder than their words. And that is what commanded respect, loyalty, and influence. You might feel uncomfortable letting go of explanations at first, because society has trained you to seek acceptance, to justify, to be small so others can feel big. But true strength, true confidence, true freedom comes when you stop explaining and start acting. Every time you hold back words of defense, every time you refuse to justify your choices, you are training your mind to focus on what truly matters. Your results, your actions, your discipline, your growth. Imagine a young artist pouring hours into their craft while the critics chatter in the background, imagining they know better. The artist doesn't stop, doesn't explain, doesn't apologize. Their work becomes undeniable proof of their talent. And suddenly, the noise around them fades into nothing. That can be you. Imagine a student who studies in silence, mastering every concept, building skills no one asked for, while others waste energy defending every grade, every small mistake. Imagine a person in a relationship who focuses on showing love, respect, and commitment through actions rather than explanations or justifications. Imagine a professional, a leader, a friend, a sibling who walks through life unapologetically, making decisions, taking risks, and facing challenges head on, and everyone around them begins to notice, not because they explained, but because they did, because they acted, because they were relentless in their pursuit of excellence. You have to understand that explanations are chains, and every chain you break releases more energy, more focus, more clarity. You have to realize that silence, action, consistency, and courage are your greatest weapons. People respect power, mastery, and results far more than they respect words, excuses, or reasons. So today, make the choice to stop explaining yourself. Make the choice to trust your instincts, to act decisively, to focus on what matters, and to let your life be proof of your strength. Every small step you take without justification builds momentum, and momentum becomes unstoppable force. You will begin to notice doors opening, opportunities arriving, respect being earned, not asked for. You will feel lighter, freer, sharper, more alive, because you no longer give your energy away to the opinions of others. Every time someone doubts you, let them watch, let them question, let them talk. The only thing that matters is your next move. Greatness has never been built by words alone. It is forged in action, persistence, and unshakable belief in yourself. And one day, people will look at you, at what you have built, at what you have achieved, and they will understand without you ever saying a word. Your results will be your voice. Your life will be your statement. Your presence will demand respect, and your story will inspire others to stop explaining and start living. Remember, you do not owe anyone your reasons, your choices, or your time. The world does not need your excuses. It needs your mastery, your courage, your results. Be unapologetically you. Take ownership of your life. Act with intent. And let your actions echo louder than any explanation ever could. Every day is a chance to rise above the noise, to focus on what matters, to build your legacy, and to become the person who moves through life with power, purpose, and unwavering confidence. Stop giving explanations and start living in a way that makes everyone take notice, not because you told them to, but because they cannot ignore the force of your presence, the clarity of your mind, and the relentless drive of your actions. Because in the end, greatness speaks for itself.